Hello, everyone. This is the Perinatal Safe Space Meeting. For today, we are going to be discussing the vital role of the doula and also going over fertility and endocrine disruptors. So, my name is Dr. Jordan Edders Boyd, Doctor of Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine, and licensed acupuncturist, which combined together, I am an acupuncturist and doula, or acu-doula for short. I have been working in this field for 5 years as an acupuncturist, almost 10 years in the womb care, womb healing aspect of things, and then switching over to going to a holistic space where I learned how to do acupuncture, Chinese medicine, how to use herbs, how to do cupping, and also, last year, I learned to become a doula, and I have supported 6 clients since I became a doula last year. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen. Hang on here. Let me get that set up. All right. Okay, let me, let's see. Hang on. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna present. Okay. All right, so understanding fertility and the vital role of doula support. Hold on, my screen sharing is paused. Here we go. Okay, let's do a new share. All right. Okay, here we are. Understanding fertility and the vital role of doula support. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so some of you may be on your fertility journey and some of you are already pregnant, and even in your postpartum phase. Either way this goes, you are well within your fertility journey, no matter what, as long as you are in the childbearing age range. Okay, so what are some things that you want to start with? You want to go ahead and go into the foundational health and lifestyle aspect. So what are the things that you've been doing to contribute to your fertility health? Or what are things that have been taken away from your fertility health? So do you or your partner or spouse have underlying health conditions? Hopefully you don't, but if you do, make sure that you are addressing those things. Are there any medications that you're taking or things that you're doing that do not promote fertility? Some medications are not safe for fertility, let alone pregnancy. Have you addressed your stress levels? Are you getting enough sleep? Do you truly have a work-life balance? Or do you find yourself still working late at night, or staying behind a computer screen or your cell phone all night? Those are things that are going to negatively impact your fertility journey. Are you exercising? Are you moving your body? Because moving your body is has a major impact on your blood circulation, on your hormone levels, blood sugar handling, everything, mental health, mood regulation, all of that. And also it helps your body detoxify better. And then are you living a toxin-free life, or at least are you at least knowledgeable of common major toxins that can contribute to poor fertility? And are you addressing your nutrition? We're gonna go more into detail. And another thing, are you making physical space and emotional space for your baby now? Whether you are pregnant or not, you should be making that space emotionally, getting prepared, getting in a mode of thinking ahead. All right, so when do you start? Start as soon as possible. So living healthy is never going to hinder your process or your progress. So for women, it takes about 3 months for the egg to mature. you want to boost follicle health and improve egg quality. So we are, you know, we've learned that we don't make new eggs as women, even though there is a study that says that potentially we could make new eggs. I will never say that we can't. You know, there's all kinds of things that we haven't learned about the human body yet. But what we know right now is that we do have to preserve the eggs that we have. And you want to use this time as well to regulate your menstrual cycle. So if your menstrual cycle is not regular, you are going to have a hard time identifying where your fertile phase is. And that's the phase that is where you're going to be able to conceive. If you don't have a regular timing for that, it's going to be close to impossible to get pregnant when you want to get pregnant. Now, for men, it takes about 70 to 90 days. So it's about the same time, about 3 months for the sperm to mature as well. So for basically for a whole new set of sperm to come through, it takes about 3 months. So for men in a 3-month time frame, they want to address sperm quality, and you want to make sure you're addressing stress levels. Stress levels in men is one of the highest indicators on if they're going to be fertile or not. It's if they're too stressed out, they're letting their body know that they do not have time to procreate and that something else greater is happening to them. Okay, so we're going to go into this more, but you want to address all sources of toxicity. Make sure I'm not in the way. You want to, so you want to address sources of endocrine disruptors and use cell phones with caution, because that's one thing that is not talked about. And the links here, you will actually get you'll get the addresses soon. You can write those down. All right, so this is going into hormone and endocrine disrupting chemicals. So that's what I meant here with address sources of endocrine disruptors. So that link actually takes you to this website here. So you can go to endocrine.org and you can go ahead and type in hormones and endocrine disrupting chemicals. So the endocrine system is a network of glands and organs that produce, store, and secrete hormones. When functioning normally, the endocrine system works with other systems to help maintain the body's health. Endocrine disrupting chemicals are substances in the environment, which are in our air, soil, or water supply, food sources, personal care products, and manufactured products that may interfere with the normal function of your body's endocrine system. Let me make sure, hang on here. I need to make sure that I am, hang on. Let's take a pause real quick. Okay, I am, as I was trying to make sure I wasn't muted. Okay, all right, here we go. Here we go. All right, so let's go back to this. I apologize. Okay, here we go. And we're gonna present. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, here we go. And let's see. Share. All right, we're back. Okay, so what are endocrine disrupting hormones? So these are a broad category of compounds. They're pretty much in everything that we touch in our modern life, because almost everything's made out of plastic or some byproduct of plastic. And a lot of the things that we think are normal to use or are safe to use, they're actually made from petrochemicals, plastic byproducts, petrochemical byproducts, which are basically plastics. And that's really where a lot of those chemicals, they tend to mimic the actual hormones that our body uses to send signals and to communicate with the rest of our body. They actually mimic that, and they get in place of the receptor where your hormone that your body naturally produced is trying to get to that receptor to the other side of your body from one organ to the next. And something else has already gotten in there, which is what these are. So one of the endocrine disrupting chemicals, one of the molecules, has actually jumped into that receptor before your actual normal natural hormone has. And that can cause huge disruption to your body, because you have one side of your body sending hormones, and the other side can't receive them because something else is already plugged in, which can create a major health issue. And these are non-natural chemicals, and they can mimic, block, or interfere the way the body's hormones work. So basically what I just described. And to kind of think about it on like another level, I'll use an analogy. With, like, say when you order a package from Amazon, and well, you order something from Amazon, you know what day it's coming, all that stuff. But it came on the same day, it came on the day that it was supposed to come, but all of a sudden you open a package and it's not what you ordered, but it came. It arrived, but it wasn't what you ordered. This is very similar to that, because now you have a problem, because what you needed, you probably needed it that day that you got it. You're not going to be able to use it. Now you got to send it back. You got to do all this extra stuff. And which means that if you translate it to what your body's doing, your body's having to work harder, or maybe shutting down certain processes because it cannot get that hormone sent over to how it needs to be sent, and that function, the particular body function can't be done anymore. So what have these been linked to? So these have been linked to sperm quality issues, fertility issues, abnormalities in sex organs, endometriosis. Early puberty is a big one. There are girls starting their menstrual cycles or starting to bud sometimes around like 7 or 8, which is very concerning, because that means that they're outside of their normal development process, which is already triggering the next generation. That so whenever they decide to have children, or if they can have children, their genetic coding is already shifting and changing. So it causes nervous system function issue. A lot of, if you go back to like child development, that's a really big issue, because if your nervous system isn't functioning properly, it's going to be hard for them to learn. It's going to be hard for intellect to really come in, all kinds of things. So immune function gets affected. Cancer can definitely become a problem, because you don't have hormones going in the right place. Hormones are building up in one side of the body and not being able to be detoxed properly and used properly. It goes into breathing problems, metabolic issues. This is where obesity and overweight issues come in, not being able to get the weight off and not understanding why. Heart health issues, growth, neurological and learning disabilities, like I said earlier. So where do they come from? So they can come from almost anywhere. You could literally, when you go to the grocery store and you get your receipt, that actually had the chemical that was developed to make that waxy substance, that can actually sink into your pores. If you come in contact with stuff like that enough, that can be detrimental. So if you work at a grocery store, or you come in contact with grocery store receipts a lot, like all day, every day, you really want to be mindful. Maybe you need to change some habits there. Maybe you need to wear gloves and not touch it with your bare hands. Just changing your lifestyle, making sure that you are addressing your detox pathways, and making sure your body is being able to release these fake hormones, basically. So they can enter into our skin. They can go to the placenta, and they can transfer into the breast milk as well. Let's go to the next. All right, so here are some common ones. So they come in the form of pesticides. They can come in children's products. So a lot of children's products are made out of plastic because, kids, you don't want something breaking with a toy or something, or even like bottles and things like that. So a lot of things have become plastic because you don't want to deal with glass breaking or some other material, right? So sometimes things like lead, phthalates, and cadmium can come in and get mixed up into these, and they're not really safe. So you want to make sure when you're ordering things for your child and for your baby that the actual product has been manufactured in a in a in a way that they're having I guess we could say a clean process. Um, Industrial solvents and lubricants. You got plastics and food storage materials, electronics and building materials. Personal care products is a big one because makeups, perfume, you have body washes that technically some of these have plastic inside of them already, especially like those micro beads where it's like the exfoliant, it's not like a natural exfoliant, plastic. Antibacterials. These are things that can especially triclosan. That chemical has actually started to be banned in a lot of antibacterial soaps because it causes endocrine disruption. And then textiles and clothing. We really have to focus on wearing real clothes now because the fast fashion clothes that we like to order and wear, we can get it in really fast. You know the sites. You already know the sites. They start with a T. They start a Shein. They start, all those different places. They don't have 100% cotton or 100% natural fabrics anymore. These are never did actually, and so these components, these materials are being made out of plastic. So we're talking about polyester and anything else that is similar to that, that is not natural. Those tend to break down as we move around. They warm up on our bodies, and they start to break down and go into our bloodstream. So I'm not coming at you to be fearful for these things, but more so be more educated so that you can be more informed, so you can make an informed decision on what products you want to bring into your home and put on your body and put on your kids. All right, so this is the second link that was on that one page. So this is going into the cell phone radiation, this damages sperm. So the Environmental Working Group is another really good site, like the endocrine.org site, to really do deep dives on what are these things that are how is the modern world interacting with our human body, because a lot of things that we have been able to create, a lot of things that have been invented in the last century, right, are actually causing us a lot of health issues, and we're really not even seeing the effects of it until now. So anyway, let's go to the cell phone radiation damages sperm. So there are studies that show that for phones carried on your belt or in your pants pocket may harm reproductive health. So you can get to this complete summary here. You can take this down here, but if you go to the EWG.org and type the cell phone radiation damages sperm, you'll be able to get to it. So there was a comprehensive review, and they found that 10 human studies have identified that there are a variety of changes that happen when the sperm is exposed to cell radiation. So if men carried their phone in their pocket or their belt, they were more likely to have lower sperm counts and are inactive or less mobile sperm. So that becomes a major issue for sperm health, because when you decrease sperm count, you decrease sperm motility, which is the way the sperm moves and how it gets to the egg in order to fertilize it, it's automatically causing impacts there where it's not able to reach the egg and actually have vitality, like where it can survive long enough to get to the egg, because the sperm is supposed to live long enough to get there. And then it also causes oxidative stress and DNA damage. So DNA damage in the sperm is a major reason why miscarriages happen, because if there's not enough DNA information, genetic information, to continue the development of the potential fetus in that early stage of conception, then it's not going to be a viable pregnancy. All right, so let's talk about nutrition and supplementation. So we talked about the things that can impede fertility, what can help. So we're going to talk about fertility boosters. So that's going to be your CoQ10, vitamin D3, K2 combination, omega-3, DHA, zinc, copper, folate, not folic acid. And I put this L5-methyl tetrahydrofolate here. This is one of the most common bioavailable forms of folate that you can find in most supplements, most like prenatals and folate supplements these days, just because a lot of people have the MTHFR gene, genetic mutation, where they cannot break down folic acid at all. Most people do not know if they have that MTHFR mutation or not. So a lot of the times it's safer to go ahead and just do a folate and not a folic acid. So folic acid is a synthetic form of folate. Okay. So folic acid, it takes about 4 steps for your body to actually utilize it, to break it down and all of that, and go through all of the process that it needs to for you to use it. And within that, some people don't have that full capabilities to break it down. So it ends up collecting in their bodies and actually causing more issues. So do your research here, write this down. Okay. Now, foods that boost fertility. Now, this is just a little bit. I'm not including a huge list here, but these are just things that really are nutrient dense, like beetroot. It's going to improve nitrous oxide for blood circulation, especially in the reproductive region. Seeds. Seeds are packed with minerals, fiber. Your flaxseed, pumpkin, black sesame, sunflower seeds, they're going to be rich in selenium, fiber, and zinc. These are key players when it comes to hormone health. Your minerals, having enough minerals and is going to help your body develop the hormones properly and support your nervous system as well. One thing I always say is do not over supplement. Use nutrition first. So if you know that these are fertility boosters, right? Focus on the foods that have this first, as rich in this. Then, if you don't feel like you're getting enough, then go to supplementation and see what, see and do it that way. Don't supplement before you've actually started changing your diet, especially if you have not cut out inflammatory foods. You, for sure, if you're on this journey, avoid junk, ultra-processed foods, fast foods, artificial dyes like the red dye, blue dye, yellow, all of that stuff. Please avoid that. Those are disruptors. Some of those endocrine disruptors, those are nervous system disruptors. They cause developmental issues. They're not like, stuff that's in like those rainbow colored cereals and things. Those are terrible for not only for kids but adults as well. And artificial flavors. So artificial flavors can cause confusion in your body. So these are all of this stuff right here causes confusion. So we want to, which causes inflammation, because when your body doesn't know what to do with something, it starts to become inflamed. So it causes the inflammation is really your body confused about what's happening here. What is this stuff that is put in my body? I don't know how to get rid of it. I also don't know how to use it. So keep it simple. Drink filtered water, eat organic foods, and as much as you can. And I understand that, you know, eating organic is becoming it shouldn't be this hard, but it is, because even if you have changed your lifestyle, you are fully organic, sometimes you don't know if everything is organic. So if you can, do as much as you can, okay? If not, make sure the food is real. All right, move forward. So what is a full spectrum doula? So a community care professional who provides holistic, continuous physical, emotional, and informational support to a mother and her partner or spouse before, during, and in the postpartum phase, which is the fourth trimester. Full spectrum doulas also offer support during preconception, miscarriage, and abortions. So we're going to switch over to talking about what a doula does. And we already went over the fertility stuff and the endocrine disruptor stuff and all of that. All right. So, let's talk about me a little bit. So I became a doula because I see pregnancy as in labor. It's truly a rite of passage for women and their families, because they're, you know, you're literally, it's very sacred. You're bringing in new life. You're really a woman in this phase. She's literally at the gate of life and death, where she is literally bringing over a new life, or some people might say, one of the ancestors is coming back. However you see that, but a life is able to come in. We are portals, literally. So I'm passionate about that. And I'm passionate about making sure women are prepared to bring in life, but and also helping their bodies be prepared while they're doing that, in whatever setting that they decide. And also passionate about making sure that families are able to be empowered and make informed decisions and have the information they need, whatever setting they choose, especially in the hospital setting, because the hospital setting can definitely be one of the most non-natural places to have a child. Now, some people definitely need to be there depending on their health condition, and I support all families and whatever they choose. What do I do here? And so I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about what I do as an acupuncturist. So I, like I said before, I'm a licensed acupuncturist and certified doula. So put those two together, it's acudoula. So I provide birthing support, fertility and prenatal care, postpartum healing, acupuncture, herbal medicine, Reiki, labor prep, cupping, cesarean healing, menstrual cycle regulation, womb wellness. And so yeah, I merge all of this together. So any woman that chooses, or any family that chooses to seek my services, I include all of this as much as I can. It's in my packages. Yeah, because I just see how important it is to really come with a holistic mindset. All right. So what are the three pillars of doula support? So there's evidence-based information, there's emotional support, and then there's physical support. So the evidence-based information, as a doula, we're offering information. Use us like Google. But the difference between a doula and Google is that you're not going to have to worry about sifting through thousands of articles, because that's what we do. You're not going to have to worry about trying to figure out, you know, all this stuff. Now, I still encourage all of my clients to do their own research, but a lot of times I can usually find the article for them or find a list of things for them to read, for them to be informed, and help them get to the information faster, right? So this is what that's the major thing. Emotional support is a big one because um, going through something like this it's especially even I'll say this, even if a mom has gone through this before, it's still a lot emotionally, because you may be thinking about your previous pregnancy, your previous birth experience, and comparing that to how you're going to birth this new child, or you're new to it all and you're not very sure, and sometimes things can get emotionally involved, or it's just a lot. It can be overwhelming. It can be very exciting and overwhelming at the same time. So that's what a doula is here for. We provide a continuous comforting presence, providing reassurance, encouragement. That's what I do. I make sure to encourage my moms, especially when they're going through some things. Pregnancy is not easy, but it can definitely be rewarding. And the physical support. The physical support, usually the main bulk of the physical support comes during um, the labor and delivery phase, right? So that is when a lot of times you may see, like on a reel or something, you see a doula holding, doing like the counter squeezes on the hips and holding, or maybe doing the slow dance with the mom, while she's in labor, or holding her hand, even just simple things, or that's where doulas come in for that day of labor support, and we don't leave. We stay there from the start of your labor to baby is born, and an hour or so after, in the postpartum phase, to make sure everything is okay. So yeah. And then let me edit that a little bit. So the start of labor, I'll say this. Sometimes labor can start 3 days before it really starts. So when we know active labor, that's when we're there. So from the start of active labor until postpartum, we're there. Oh, and another thing, we also help with breastfeeding support as well. So if there's if there are things that are occurring that you're having difficulty with, we can help put you in contact with the proper resources. All right. So doulas do not replace partners or fathers or anything like that, or anybody like that, right? So doula support for partners and fathers. So we also usually I like to have the prenatal meetings together with mom and dad, mom and partner, to go over the birthing process, going over any fears, apprehensions they have. Let's talk. If there's, either you have any questions, what questions do you have? We go over, everything, like what happens when we get to the hospital, what happens when I go into labor and I'm having a home birth, or going to a birth center, like how does this work? What happens when it's time to do the newborn assessments? What if I don't want to get my child vaccinated? All this stuff. I answer all these questions. So and then we're also making sure that the partners are equipped to support their spouse, right? Equipped to support them. So I'm teaching them pain management techniques, the things that they can do, and also to help me, because I can't hold all these things by myself for hours and hours. So, but also I support them in making sure that once baby's there, if they're ready to eat as well, I can go pick up a meal for every, mom and dad as well. And, making sure that they're comfortable, they're informed, because dads and partners can get fearful too. You know, it's a lot. The birthing process is it's very it's very intense. So, and it's different, and most dads have not seen anything like that ever. So what's the evidence? So there's the evidence on doula support is that there's a 25% decrease in the risk of cesarean. There's an 8% increase in the likelihood of a spontaneous vaginal birth, 10% decrease in the use of any medications for pain relief, shorter labors by 41 minutes on average, 38% decrease in the baby's risk of a low 5-minute APGAR score. So that's basically the score that's taken to make sure that they are, once baby has become earthside, that they are adjusting well to the to being born, basically. So and then there's a 31% decrease in the risk of being dissatisfied with the birth experience. And you can find more information on this at the evidencebased-birth.com/doulas. There's like a whole handout on this. All right. So what do doulas not do? So we don't make decisions for you or fight your providers. We do not replace your midwife or OBGYN. And we don't offer medical advice or perform medical procedures or screening. Now, I do hold a acupuncture license with the Texas Medical Board, but I am not authorized as a doula to make medical to do medical advice and procedures, because that's still not my scope of practice. Even as an acupuncturist, as a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, I can work in my scope of practice as a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine if my doula client has consented to me doing that. But I will not be delivering babies or catching babies, rather. I won't be making decisions for you, but however, I can help you advocate for your birth plan, for your preferences, and for your patient rights. So if I see something is up, I'm gonna let you know. I'm like, hey, are you good with this? You know, this is what's popping up. This is what's going on. Or is this the change that you were, you know, that you thought, you know, are you okay with what's the trajectory there? Are you okay with what your OB suggested? You know, like, let me know, right? When I say let me know, it's like, are you good? Do you understand what's going on? Are you okay with that? Do you need to stop? Do you have a moment? Do you want to pause? So these are all things that I can do. But when it comes down to, you know, telling your provider, no, I can't do that, because that's me getting in front of you. And that's not okay. So you, at the end of the day, as a doula client, you still have to make your own decisions. But what a doula does is when we come in and we help you with the information aspect to make sure that you're informed so that you can make an informed decision. All right, so that's the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for watching this up until this point. You can stay in touch with me here. You can scan that little QR code. There's my website, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever, Facebook, all of that. This is how you can get in contact with me. So it has been a pleasure going through these things and, you know, just really having a conversation about how we can live better. So yeah, so those that signed up for the class, you should be able to get the recording for this. And if not, it's going to be on the website. All right, y'all take care. Bye.